I figured I'd give you guys a recap of basically how my weekend went. My 6-day weekend. On Thursday, just had to work Wednesday night, Thursday morning. So on Thursday, I got off work and I had to go pay some bills and random other things before I could leave. So I didn't get out of the house until like almost 11 o'clock, and I kind of screwed up my plans. I'd planned on riding about 300 miles on Thursday and like 500 on Friday. But for whatever reason, I loaded the maps up backwards and ended up doing like 500 miles on Thursday and only about 250 on Friday. But I had to get my mirrors dealt with, which took about a week, and they've got integrated turn signals down in there, and they're kind of cool. They flap a little bit, but not too bad. They're good enough that I can see what's going on behind me, and that's all I really care about. I don't need to be able to read a license plate from a mile away in my mirror. And I don't know how well you guys can see, but I can see out of them really well. My elbow takes up a little bit of space, but for the most part, over 2/3 of that mirror is clear. And then the bike started running funny, and I started getting error lights. That's why they're still chrome. I was gonna paint them the week before, but you see my FI light down there is on, and that's the general warning light for the bike. There's a little process you can go through, and it based on how many times it flashes, it tells you what's wrong. And the bike had been running like shit, and like I'd let off the gas and start backfiring and pissing and moaning and wouldn't idle for crap. It was just running way too rich is what it really boiled down to. So I checked the error code, and that told me that the map sensor had died. And so I was trying to get a new one, or at least a used one, which I ended up getting, but UPS fucked me. I should have gotten it on Wednesday before I left. But they decided that 3-day priority actually means whatever, you pay extra, we'll get it to you whenever we want. And it didn't get to my house until Friday. But whatever, I fucking hate UPS. And I had ordered some other parts from the same guy, and I told him, do not use UPS, and he said okay. And he used the postal service, which is great. But when he sent me the map sensor, I forgot to remind him not to send it through UPS, and so he did, because that's what people do out of habit, and it just sucks. And so I got a pretty comical / dangerous video in Paris Thursday night, or Thursday afternoon I should say, because my map sensor was screwed. And I finally found out that it's actually better, rather than having one that's not working right, it's better to just unplug it, and the computer defaults to a certain map, a fuel map, and it runs a lot better. And it's still like that. I haven't changed the sensor yet. So basically it didn't idle too well, and it's a little twitchy, but it runs, and it runs reliably, so I'm cool. So I had a bucking bronco of a ride all the way up to Paris, and that was a long ass day, man. I got to the hotel at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening, at which point I'd been up for 24 hours, and there were some shows coming on TV. It was season finale night, or week I should say. So there's some stuff coming up on TV that I wanted to watch, and I was like, whatever, you know. I ended up staying up till like midnight, and I was pretty loopy by the end of the day. But I fell asleep and slept like a brick, and that was that. You know, Thursday was a hard day, but I never had to. Well, I take that back. I was on the interstate for about half an hour to get up to Austin, get out the north side of Austin, and Hutto and Taylor, and then I took 79 more or less all the way up to Paris. And yeah, it took a little longer. I could have been in Paris in like 4 or 5 hours if I would have just taken I-35 up to I-30 in Dallas and headed out that way, but that's no fun. So I opted to take the long way, and it added like 3 hours to the ride, but that's okay.